Well, the celebration begins. That's right, 500. Who would have ever thought in Houston we're celebrating a club at 500? Well, we are on the heels of Spencer Arrighetti's most strikeouts of his career and most by any Astros pitcher. Let's talk right now.
Jainel Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talkstros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. The Astros are on a 7-game winning streak, and we enjoy the fact that you make us part of your daily routine, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Go ahead and hit that little red button down there and go and make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go and check us out. Go and become an everyday or somebody that listens to our podcast. Well, every day. Today, this episode of the Locked On Astros podcast is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your rival city. So if you want to go stay in Dallas to go watch the All-Star game, I'm sure you can go check out Booking.com for your stay today. And Brett, I'm such a fan for this game. Everything. I had a little medical procedure today for my neck discomfort. And I was like, you know what? I've got to do this podcast today. That's why my voice is a little bit off, but I'm like, I've got to do this. I'm back. Where can they find you when you're not watching the Astros kick some butt?
You know, they can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on Facebook and on X. They can also find me at Back to the Bullpen on Instagram, on X, and on YouTube. Look, I'm always positive, always Stros. I'm positive, Eric. Maybe the Astros need to hire your doctor and go to Justin Verlander, give him a shot in his neck, because it looks like you're ready to start baseball activities right now, Eric. It's just one of those. Dude, good. I'm glad to see, because Eric did tell me ahead of time, kind of like Justin Verlander told the guys in the clubhouse, guys, I'm probably not going to be able to go here in a couple days. Eric's like, Brett, I'm not going to be able to play. You know, I'm not going to be able to do this, post game because I've got this procedure going. I said, dude, you got this. And we texted each other. Everything went well. And what do you know? Hello, Mr. 500. It's nice to see you again. And man, what a game, dude. Aragetti, Salazar, Diaz. And I've got to focus on Diaz later on, because I want to tell you something he's been doing lately that he hadn't been doing for a while. And this is a good feeling for the club. They get a day off. They go to New York. I'm pretty sure they're going to go up there early like they typically have been doing so they can chill and relax. But the Mets are like one of the hottest teams in baseball right now. So this Mets Astros series is turning out to be probably one of the most watched series or most exciting series that we're going to see in Major League Baseball, because the Mariners continue to do what they're doing. The Rangers lost today, I believe. And so look, if the Astros can hold their stock and can keep where they are and keep improving, I like our chances, dude. What a game. What an exciting game. What a perfect homestand, Eric. That's amazing.
Yeah. The Astros are now 33-21 since they started off 7-19. It all turned around with that trip to Mexico City versus the Colorado Rockies. And so it's kind of weird that the transition started with the Rockies. It's not going to conclude here. This is not the end of the story. They cannot say, okay, we're done. Pack our bags. We're going to go ahead and go to Cancun. We're going to go ahead and mail it in. This is only part of the story. This is only the beginning of the story. So now you got to have the rest of the story. And the rest of the story is the Astros have got some work to do. They are 4.5 games back of the Mariners now, and they are 3 games ahead of the Rangers. They have, I think the Brewers were actually listening to you on that podcast the other day, because remember the Rangers were winning and you're like, Brewers, you're only paid to do one thing, to win games. And then they came back and hit that grand slam and everything. And then they went on to sweep the Rangers. So I think somebody in the Brewers was listening to Brett Chancey and they're like, okay, let's take care of business here. But the Astros have back-to-back sweeps. Granted, it was against the Orioles was a legit sweep. This is a 2-game sweep, but it's still, they outscored the Rockies by a lot. It wasn't even crazy, and by a little bit. I think it was like 32-9 in the 4 games, not just these 2 games, but the ones in Mexico City as well. So when you play a bad team like the Colorado Rockies, you need to take advantage. And that's what the Astros did. That's why they are back at 500. That's why they have gone back to where they should be. And so they were 12 games under 500 at the end of play on May 8th at 12-24.
Wow.
Now back at 40-40. The future is 40-40. The vision is at 40-40 right now. And now it's like Friday versus the Mets is opening day all over again. You have a fresh start, Astros. You have a chance to forget everything that's happened to this point. Just continue what you've been doing, the success. And yes, David was mocking us earlier, but yes, the Astros do have a good rotation, minus a 5th starter. Jake Bloss did throw a catch today, and the Astros said he was going to throw it 2 days later, maybe on Friday, but he actually threw today. He gave a thumbs up, meaning that was a good situation. So Jake Bloss may be on his way back, but for right now, we'll talk a little bit about what the plans are for that last game in New York.
That's right. You try to go with your New York accent, Eric. Nice try. With your Sparrow pizza and your gabagool. Anyways, but dude, this game, I mean, Aragetti, and I didn't realize this, Eric, until I heard Todd Callis say it on the broadcast. This is the first time a pitcher's gotten more than 9 strikeouts in a game.
Yeah.
It was like, what? And I went and looked back at, I mean, not that Callis was lying, or not that because let me tell you, they kind of pulled the curtain back a little bit. They have an MLB stat guy there in the booth, and they say this guy comes up with stuff that we would never come up with. So they've got one of the best stat guys. They come up with the coolest stuff. And so I love it when people say, oh, y'all just repeat what Todd Callis and Jeff Blum say. I'm like, well, they just repeat what the stat guy gives them. So yeah, it's got to come from somewhere. By the way, people are wanting your 45 stat. But Spencer Arrighetti comes out, and yes, it's the Rockies, but rookie pitchers tend to make mistakes against teams that they shouldn't make mistakes on. And he came out, Eric, his other best start was against the Seattle Mariners this year, where he had 9 strikeouts. He had 6 scoreless innings. He had 3 walks and 1 hit by pitch. Well, this time, 7 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, no walks. Not only the 10 strikeouts, Eric, but he also had, 13 swings and misses. I mean, this is a kid that is
I think I heard he even reached 3 balls in this game.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Look, what a game. And when I interviewed him back in February at the TriStar Sports Show, Mr. Rosen always puts on a great show. Let me talk to him and Espada. Spencer, to me, had the correct mindset. He said, I'm going to come in. I'm going to just do my job. I'm going to keep my head down. And, that's also what Joey Loperfido's done, because I got to ask Chandler Rome about that. Like, what have you noticed about Loperfido? He said, Loperfido comes into the clubhouse, he puts his head down, and he goes to work. You don't really notice that he's there. And he said the best rookies that make the biggest impact are the ones that you don't notice, because they know their place. They know they're not the veteran. And this whole team, Eric, from I almost said from spaghetti, from Aragetti to Salazar, okay? Everybody on this team is contributing. Diaz, more RBI. I want to talk about that later, because I want to say some cool stuff for later on with Yainer Diaz. But this team is having fun. They're enjoying it. And Eric, they're saving their bullpen all while they go on the road. They don't have an exhausted bullpen. There's so many things to like about this game. I don't even care who it was against, because these are the games that they weren't even winning at the beginning. I mean, you had your measly sweep of the A's. But then everything else was like, golly, like, why can't we win that third game or that last game? Why can't we? So they swept the series, all 4 games, like you mentioned, of the Rockies. They just came off that sweep. And who says we can't go to New York and kind of stunt their growth a little bit and sweep them? Because the way this team's playing, put any team against us right now. I'll take us.
Yeah, definitely. And the Mets, like the Astros, got off to a bad start, a terrible start, but they are rebounding as well. So this is going to be a tough matchup. We'll continue discussion in a second.
We pride ourselves in getting you the latest news for your team, whether it's the offseason, the draft, spring training, or the playoffs. It's year-round. You know what else is year-round? Collection season. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. I myself have a self-employed status and my regular job, and I need someone with over 14 years experience and an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau. Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, or finally hit that parlay this season and need help filing correctly, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. See the link in the episode description below. Passion, drive, and patience, the formula for winning championships, is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time, or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need and the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit. Available to U.S. customers.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast, and go and check out Mike O'Connor on the Locked On Astros podcast as well. He does a great job after every game, whether the Astros lose or win. The Astros have been doing a lot more winning recently, thankfully, and you go and watch it on your Amazon Fire TV stick as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And yes, like Jackson says, the first Mets game is on Apple TV. So it's one of those things where you may have to subscribe for Apple TV for a month, unless you get the free thing if you go through MLB.com and you haven't already done it. But I've already done it a few times, so you might have to go ahead and just pay for a month if you want to watch that, or go to Hooters or the bar of your choice to go ahead and watch the game, assuming they have it, or there's other avenues to watch the game. But this is a big series. The Mets started off really bad. You had the reliever, I can't think of the guy's name, but he had a reaction after he gave up some runs and they took him out, where he threw his glove and just kind of basically cursed and threw his glove over to the fans. But it's just a situation where the Mets were a bad team. For all that money, it was a bad product. But the Mets are somehow, they found a way to win. And they're almost, I think they're a game below. Yeah, they're at 38-39 right now. They have played they're 8-2 in their last 10 games. So they've played a lot better baseball recently. So I think this is going to be a good situation for the Houston Astros, but it's also going to be good for the Mets. So I think this is, of all the series, I know the Orioles, that was a playoff matchup, so to speak, because we could potentially see this matchup in the playoffs. But this is going to be a playoff atmosphere, because you got the Mets and the Astros both trying to get in on it. And they're both been kind of scratching and clawing their way back into it. The Astros are on a 7-game winning streak. The Mets are on a, on 2-game winning streak. But at the same time, I think that the Astros are playing better baseball, but you can't discount at what the Mets are doing. And like I said earlier, opening day, this is like opening day all over again. And somebody said, well, opening day against a New York team, how did that go for us last time? Thank you for spoiling that for me. Jeez.
Well, here's the deal, though. I mean, the Yankees and Mets are completely different organizations. The Yankees have 52 wins and 29 losses, and they've done that without Garrett Cole pretty much all season long. So, yeah, I think that is a little bit of an apples and oranges thing, but I understand the sentiment. Let's look at our WPA leaders for the game. Spencer Arrighetti, 41.1. Jose Altuve, 14.8. And I love that Yainer Diaz is right there because I do want to talk to him. I do want to talk about him, and I want to talk about Cesar Salazar. Cesar Salazar has come in, Eric, and done such an admirable job. This is a guy that's very well liked throughout the system. Guys have raved about him since he's come from AA to AAA, really made noise. Every pitcher loves him, loves the games he calls. And actually, he's, like I said, I think last show, he's been our best defensive catcher this year. But Yainer Diaz, Eric, has turned things around. And I started looking at when he got another RBI today, I started looking at it from June 9th through June 20th. Yainer Diaz had 0 RBI. From June 21st through June 26th through today, 7 RBI. And these are sacrifice flies. These are singles. These are what I called manufactured runs. And the way that this team is going to win is they're going to have to manufacture runs. If I can kind of point to Seattle a little bit, Seattle has been struggling. Seattle needs help. I watched one of the Locked On Mariners podcasts the other day, and they were talking about how they've got holes and they've got to fill them because they're a little concerned. They do have great pitching, but it's their offense. So, Seattle's going to be buyers. So if the Astros are in the market for a bat, which I don't know that they are, Seattle's probably, don't be surprised if they go out and get at least 1 or 2 bats to help them along the way. But the Houston Astros, dude, Cesar Salazar. What more can you say about this guy coming in, not intimidated by the assignment, doesn't care that this is really his first major league action. How many catchers, Eric, come in and where are his stats? Right here. He's batting .455. He went 1 for 3. He had an RBI and a run scored. .455. He's got the highest OPS. Of course, it's a small sample size, but it's 1.053. But if you would have asked me, hey, is it possible that Cesar Salazar comes up and plays 7 games or plays 5 or 6 games with the Astros and hits for an 1,100 OPS and almost 500? I'd be like, well, I don't know about that. Maybe hit 250, 280, right? And so at the end of the day, every one of these pieces falls into place, and they're not just scoring. They're scoring early. They're scoring late. They're scoring multiple innings, 11 hits, 7 runs today. And let me run through it. Altuve, 2 for 5, Diaz, 3 for 4, Pena, 2 for 4, and pretty much everybody got a hit. Myers did get a walk. He was 0 for 3, and then Bregman again was 0 for 4, but he still scored a run. And so he got on by a fielder's choice. He would have been 1 for 5 had he gotten a hit there. He's at 253. But he's still trending upwards, and everybody's contributing, Eric. Dubin came in, gave up the 1 run. Brian King came in, 2 strikeouts, so 4 strikeouts each. Eric, the Astros struck out 14 batters today, a complete performance from beginning to end, from top to bottom, and that's what you want. No matter who the competition is, you want to win in all phases, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, Jeremy Pena's bat is kind of heating up a little bit more recently. And like you said, Salazar, this is a guy that it came out of nowhere, and the Astros were probably still not sold on Salazar. So they actually added Omar Narvaez from the Mets as on a minor league deal. He was DFA'd by the Mets earlier this year. So the Mets will be paying $8 million of his salary. So let's just say I like the way Salazar is playing, and I hope Caratini comes back soon. But just imagine if Narvaez comes and plays for the Astros at some point. that just imagine how much of the Mets, the Astro salary, the Mets will be paying at that point.
They're paying quite a bit. And so, Eric, I do have to share this because I don't know if you heard about this. Do you know who pitched against the Rangers? Now, he was the reason the Rangers scored 5 runs, but do you know who started the game for the Milwaukee Brewers?
Oh, it was Dallas Keuchel, and he got lit up.
Yeah, Dallas Keuchel, he got lit up, but they still won. Of course, he got the loss, but 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 4 Ks, 1 walk, 2 home runs. Yeah, they lit him up, but the Brewers came back in the end and they beat the Rangers. But I thought it was funny because last week they advertised Scherzer going against Keuchel. So, anyways.
Yeah, that would have been a blast from pass for sure. So we're going to go and look at the biggest takeaways from this series, definitely. And we already kind of talked about the battle of the slow starts and Dubin, the opener, coming soon. Possibly, maybe. We'll see.
With summer travel heating up, especially travel to baseball games, it's time to explore those U.S. cities that you secretly wanted to learn about. That's right, even the cities of your rival teams, LA, Boston, New York, Chicago, Miami. Well, are they a rival? Well, look, maybe it's a city you haven't been to, but with hotels, bed and breakfast, vacation rentals, resorts, and so much more, Booking.com has you covered, and you might just find the perfect way to stay and even enjoy baseball in your rival city. Look, a New York fan heading to Boston to catch a baseball game on Boston's turf, who wants to do that? Well, you know what? If your stay is great, then it doesn't matter because it is covered with Booking.com's just amazing deals that they have. You can find family-friendly resorts, stadiums that are overlooked by the hotel you're staying in all summer long. So check out Booking.com, go to the website, or use the app Booking.com and check it out today. It's the best way to book travel. Are you struggling to close those deals? Business-to-business selling is tougher than ever, and that's why I want to tell you about LinkedIn Sales Navigator. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is a sales intelligence platform that helps professionals effectively prospect and engage high-value customers, drive higher revenue, and increase sales performance. Sales Navigator helps you target the right buyers, surface key signals such as job changes or which accounts you should prioritize, and shows you hidden allies so that you can find those buyers that are most likely to convert. Fueled by LinkedIn's 1 billion member platform, Sales Navigator gives you the most up-to-date first-party data, enabling you to unlock conversations with people that matter. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/lockedon. That's linkedin.com/lockedon for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/lockedon and get started today.
Hi, y'all. You're our favorite people out there. You are our everydayers, the people that listen to our podcast every day. Have you subscribed to us? Just hit that little red button down there that says subscribe. Give us a big fat thumbs up while you're doing it. And go and make us your listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Join the Locked On Astros podcast community. We appreciate it. We appreciate every one of y'all and the input you put on our show. We are one of the only podcasts out there that goes live just for your reactions. And we appreciate y'all every day. So, Brett, I think that the Astros, they're doing exactly what we said they need to do to win.
Yeah.
The bullpen is better. The starting pitching is great. The offense is doing just enough. And this game, in yesterday's game, the Astros scored 5 runs in the first inning. Then they shut them down. They said, okay, yeah, we're good for today. That's all you get, Hunter Brown. I hope you're good with that. And then in today's game, what they did was they scored 1 run in the 4th inning, and then they scored 4 runs. What inning was it? In the 7th inning, then 1 run in the 5th inning, 4 runs in the 7th inning, then 1 run in the 8th inning. So they kind of poured it on late in the game. So the Astros are showing that they can score consistently. So the
Yeah.
Astros are putting it together, and they're taking advantages of bad teams' mistakes, not trying to go for the double play to get out of the inning instead of trying to throw home when Jeremy Pena was already probably going to beat it out anyway. That was a bad decision at that time. Go for the 2 outs, or at least go for a sure out in that situation. And then there's a couple of errors there, even if the Rockies made 3 errors in this game. And so the Astros capitalized. That's what a winning team does. They don't strike out and leave the bases loaded and hit a pop-up like Alex Bregman would do earlier in the season. But this team is turning it around, and they're doing it with consistent hitting up and down the lineup.
Yeah, definitely. And I do want to update us, update the people out there on a couple things. JP France is done. He's out for the season. He is going to have shoulder surgery. Dr. Meister saw him, and actually that name Dr. Meister has come up on MLB Network. Apparently he's one of the most sought after doctors out there. Pretty much any major leaguer goes to Dallas to see this guy. Kyle Tucker, this was from, you're going to love the last part of this quote. This is from Chandler Rome. Kyle Tucker took swings off the tee on Sunday. He could start running within the next few days, according to the Astros. The team also said Jake Bloss is scheduled for light toss on Friday and may return. And shortly after his 15 IL stint concludes, he goes, I thought that was against HIPAA. So it looks like Tucker is nearing baseball activities. It looks like Bloss is actually doing more than they anticipated him to do at this point, which is good because they're going to need him in this stretch. They're going to need him to go in there and make a start. And I think if this kid can stay healthy, he's got good stuff. I mean, from what the scouts have said, but just like Chandler had said, like this guy apparently had something going on with his shoulder prior to coming into the game, although his velo wasn't down, but he was hitting 94 to 96. And in the game, he was hitting 90 to 92. So there was something obviously not there that was right from the beginning. And even though he said he felt a tweak in his shoulder in the 4th inning, right, I think it must have been bothering him. So it's going to be good to have Jake Bloss on there. Then we don't really know much about Justin Verlander. He's still not doing baseball activities. It's still, they're claiming it's still just a sore neck. So I don't know, man. Justin Verlander, when does he return? There's no telling. And so what does that mean? They haven't named a starter for Sunday's game. They have named the starters, and I believe it is Valdez and Blanco.
It's Blanco, then Valdez.
Okay, Blanco, Valdez, and then to be determined. Now, with Sean Dubin pitching 1 inning today, I don't know that's not going to
interfere or anything.
Okay.
So what they're going to do, Brett, is they're going to make Sunday a bullpen game. So he'll serve as an opener. For those of y'all that don't know what an opener is, anybody that's kind of new to the podcast or new to baseball, opener is somebody that comes in, pitches maybe 1 to 2 innings to start the game. Then you have somebody come in as a bulk, or you could just kind of have a parade of relievers come in. Typically you have this is just somebody that's, I don't know why some teams use it, but an opener is somebody that can go maybe 1 to 3 innings. So in this situation, we've seen Dubin pitch max 3 innings this year. He pitched 1 inning today. So 1 inning is not, he's a reliever. He's been pitching out of bullpen. That's not going to do anything for him. I don't expect to see him pitch in the next Friday or Saturday. The reason why they used them today is it's kind of like a bullpen day. Even starters, they get bullpen days in between. So this was like his bullpen day.
Yeah, exactly. And Brian McTaggart threw this up. Since we're talking about pitching, I just want to show this before we go. The last 4 games pitching, 2 versus Baltimore, 2 versus Colorado, 27 innings, 15 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 8 walks, 29 strikeouts. The starting pitchers 0.67 ERA and a 158 batting average against. That's how you win baseball games, and you have your offense support you. So this team's firing on all cylinders, and all this talk that Dana Brown's been doing, and even on the Sean Salisbury show about we're coming into this, and he said this is a mini rally. He said we still got more in the tank. We still got to keep our foot on the gas. So trust me, the Astros aren't going to New York to let up and kick back in the recliners, because they know there's still a ton of work to do. You still got Seattle, who's still finding ways to win games, even though they're struggling. So I think at the end of the day, the Houston Astros are just where you want them to go. Are they going to sweep a 10-game road series? More than likely not. But if they can win both of those series, Eric, that's huge momentum. And then taking you into July.
3 series.
3 series. 3 series. Because you play the Mets for 3. Then play
the Twins and the Blue Jays. I don't know what the order is.
Okay. Twins, and then Blue Jays, I think, and then Twins. So yeah. So we're going on the road for quite a long time, boys and girls. So buckle up. It's going to be fun, but I anticipate the Astros going to take care of business.
Michael pointed out that Dubin pitched 5 innings last year. I meant he has not pitched that much this year.
Right.
In the major leagues. He probably has with Space Cowboys, but he's kind of converted to a reliever. And I don't want to close the show without saying Jose Altuve's 2 RBIs tied Bob Watson for 5th in Astros history with 782 RBIs. I don't think he's going to reach Bagwell with 1529. Biggio has 1175, and Berkman has 1090. Cruz is next up with 942. So that is a positive note to end the show. The Astros have a day off. We'll look more into the Mets series tomorrow. Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. We will see you tomorrow. Astros.
You make it.